Okay, assalamu alaikum everyone. We are live now. I will give everyone just a few seconds to get themselves ready for today's program and also to log on their Facebook accounts. Okay, perfect. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. My name is Fariha Saidi. Welcome to another program powered by Being Me. Today's program is the mood boosting power of volunteering. This program is a part of our winter fast that we have with Being Me. The winter fast is started today. It's a one-day fast and it will end on tonight at around 10 p.m. So make sure that you follow other programs that we have for today for you. In today's program, our speaker will speak about the power of volunteering, the importance of and for your akhirah as well. So without any further ado, I would like to start today's program with a recitation. The recitation will be done by Asma Mohammed. She lives in Ottawa, Canada. She is in grade 8. She is an Uyghur activist. She also has memorized six juz's of Quran. And mashallah, she's on her way to memorize her 7 juz of Quran as well. We're very happy to have Asma here. Let's start the program with a recitation by Asma. Assalamu alaikum, Asma. Thank you so much for joining us today. You're on mute as well. We can't hear you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. واتل ما إليك من كتاب ربك لا مبدل لكلماته ولا تجد من دونه ملتحدا واصبر نفسك مع الذين يدعون ربهم بالغداة والعشي يريدون وجهه ولا تعد عيناك عنهم يريدوا زينة الحياة الدنيا ولا تطع من أغفلنا قلبه عن ذكرنا واتبع هواه وكان أمره فرطا وقل الحق من ربكم فمن شاء فليؤمن ومن شاء فليكفر إنا أعتدنا للظالمين نارا أحاط بهم سرادقها وإن يستغيثوا يغاثوا بماء كالمهل يشوي الوجوه بئس الشراب وساءت مرتفقا إن الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات إنا لا نضيع أجرا أحسن عملا أولئك تجري من تحت الأنهار من أساور من ذهب ويلبسون ثيابا خضرا من سندس واستبرق متكئين فيها على الأرائك نعم الثواب وحسنت مرتفقا. And recite what has been really revealed to you of the book of your Lord. There is no changer of his words, and never will you find in other than him a refuge. And keep yourself patient with those who call upon their Lord in the morning and in the evening, seeking his contents, and let not your eyes pass beyond the worldly life, and do not obey follows his so whoever wills let him believe who will, and if they or wretched, indeed, those who have with well deeds, those will perpetual residence. Beneath them rivers will flow. They will be unmoored therein with bracelets of gold, and will never will wear green garments of fine silk and brocade, declining therein as more couches, excellent in their reward, and great is the resting place.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Asma, for that beautiful recitation. Now to our Being Me family, I would like to remind everyone that it is to please share your Success 2020 story with us. Tag your success partner in the story below, or the comment section that we have here on Facebook Live right now where you're watching us. You can share your success story 2020 with Being Me. You can tag a partner. We have a few hashtags that you could also use. The hashtags are Being Me 2020, Being Me Winterfest, Being Me Giveaway, and hashtag Being Me hashtag Winter Fun. You could also use any of these hashtags under any post that we have right now. We would like to hear from you, your success stories with Being Me. Now we're gonna go with our speaker, inshallah. As I mentioned earlier, that our topic for today's program is the mood boosting power of volunteering. We have Carly McKinney to give us more details about this topic. She is a convert of 18 years with an Irish, Scottish, English, French, Swedish, and native background, mashallah. And she is a nutritionist. She completed her education in BC. She's passionate about health and wellness. Carly also takes part in various programs within our community in the GTA, and she's mom of 4 children. Carly, we're very happy to have you here. Thank you so much for giving us your time.
Thank you for having me. Alhamdulillah, I am very grateful for this opportunity to join you guys and join everybody watching. So today I'm going to talk to you guys about how volunteering can actually give you that boost that we often need. With the times right now, it's COVID. In addition to that, we're now into the winter times where seasonal affective disorder is quite prevalent in all communities in North America. And it seems as though that for some people, it can be a very tough and even a dark time. So sometimes engagement in one way or another is something that can help you feel better and be more productive in your life. So for me, I started off volunteering as a young mother. Actually, perhaps I even started before I started running like a female basketball program right as soon as I came back to Canada after I converted. And so I wasn't married, and I got asked to do some type of basketball program with the girls in the MSA at U of T in the Mississauga campus. So I did so, and that was where it all started. From there, I did some other basketball programs at Olive Grove with the Federation of Muslim Women, and then it just kind of spiraled out from that, from those few opportunities. Alhamdulillah, the opportunities that I've had with developing a swimming program, running soccer programs, a lot of homeschooling programs because I homeschooled my children for several years, has given me so much for how I am able to carry on and feel about myself. It gives me a sense of belonging. It creates a sense of happiness and joy, connection, and it has also given me a great network. And that network has enabled me to pursue things in other areas. So as I was a volunteer for many, many years, alhamdulillah, I still am, but I was also able to create and start a new business. And I can say that all the other jobs that I have through teaching, a lot of this is done through the networking, and that all started with volunteer. So alhamdulillah, it really is a great thing to do, which gives back to your people, but it also gives back to you, and it gives back in this life and in the hereafter. So all of those things, when you really think about volunteering, and a lot of people say, I don't have enough time, I'm already busy with so much stuff, and I am by no means going to suggest that you say yes, yes, yes to everything. There are times where we have to say no. There are times where we have to balance our priorities. And I would have to say that it's very difficult for me to say no sometimes, but there are times where I just have to say, you know what, right now I need to take care of my kids. If I keep on volunteering, I'm going to resent it. So find the balance. Find the balance, but try a little bit sometimes if you have not had the opportunity, because if you don't, you won't really get to feel and experience the rewards. And through these rewards, I find that one of the biggest things that I felt is gratitude. So experiencing gratefulness that you have had an opportunity. You're grateful that you have met and come into contact with these people, which has further led to other means of opportunities and other blessings, relationships, friendships. It also has given me a sense of gratitude for just being productive and accomplish something, contributing, because we all have worth and value. And when you're able to give something, you are recognizing that you have something to offer. And that is very good for one's self-esteem and one's confidence. So, alhamdulillah, there is a lot to take from in terms of just being grateful for the opportunity to do so. Like I said, the relationships and the friendships, the sisterhood that develops is also rewarding on so many levels, in the sense that you now have built something that is lasting and that is going to come to you in other angles that you never even had expected in the first place when you took this on. So when you make the right intention and you do it to please Allah, then what happens from there is that you're able to really, really pull and gain from so many different ways. And like I said, things come at you from angles you weren't even expecting. So being grateful for all of that is something that gives you a sense of happiness in your heart and in your mind. It also gives you a sense of I would say not necessarily relief, but um, when you know that you're doing something good and you are able to project your energy in a very efficient way that's helpful to others and then to yourself, it's definitely a means of stress relief to a certain extent. So you're able to maybe deal with some tough times that you're going through a little easier when you have put yourself out there and you have offered some of your value that Allah has given you. So when you sort of take your mind off of something, not to sweep anything under the carpet, but when you put your energy towards something great and sort of let go of worrying and fears of other things in your life, this is something that helps perpetuate a very positive cycle in your mind. So it actually creates more of a positive mentality, and like I said, the self-esteem and everything builds on that. Productivity, I can say that sometimes people wonder, they always ask me, because I teach and I run programs and I run a business and I have 4 kids and I homeschool them, and alhamdulillah, I've been blessed with so many opportunities. And then I still do volunteer work whenever I can. And I can honestly say that I feel that productivity is something that I don't know if you want to call it mood boosting, but for me, it directly relates to my mood. Because if I'm not busy enough, I tend to feel like I tend to feel like I'm stagnant and I'm not really doing much. And I tend to feel like I should be doing something. So for me, it gets me going. It fires me up. It makes me feel like I can use my time wisely, right? So I don't feel guilty if I've been doing nothing for too long. Of course, it's important to rest and take time for yourself. I 100% agree with that. I need to do that myself. However, in terms of productivity, um, volunteering gives us all a sense of what our potential is. Because when you start giving a little bit of your time to a cause, you're able to realize that, oh, I had this time. And then that productivity becomes a building block for other things. And then you realize that you had time for other things. And it can be personal, it can be your own business related thing, career related, family related, or community related. So you just kind of get to know what your potential is where productivity is concerned. And that is empowering. That builds a lot of confidence within somebody, and it lets them know what you're capable of. It lets yourself know what you're capable of, because I honestly feel that we have our own our own our worst enemy is our own mental blocks. And a lot of the time, it's our own inner voice of what we're telling. Oh, I can't do that. I'm too tired. I have to study. I have so much, for moms, I have to, like, my house isn't clean. I have to cook. I have to drive my kids everywhere. If you're working, you're exhausted after work. And yes, I'm not trying to take away any of that. I've experienced all of that. However, our inner voice and changing the cycle can sometimes help. So we all like to be able to give. And we all know that the power of giving, the effects that it has on ourselves and on our community members is huge. So when you can give sadaqah, a monetary thing, that is an amazing thing to do for you and for your community. But I feel like time and skills, and just your own presence is something that doesn't really have a set value. It's really, truly invaluable. And you can't set a price on it. So when you are able to offer your skill set or your time, I feel like you are doing something that is on a next level of sadaqah. And we all know that when we give sadaqah, we're able to feel really good about ourselves. We are able to, hopefully get Allah's protection and Allah's forgiveness when we give to others. So this is something that when you're making the intention to do something, please keep it on the right track. And I'm reminding myself first. And then what can happen from that is that you just are able to get so much back from it. And the value in that is it's invaluable. So we want to make sure that we don't put a price tag on our time and on our skill sets and on our God-given talents that we all have, because Allah knows we all have different things to offer to others. The other thing that it does is it becomes a contagious factor. So to bring light to COVID, yeah, COVID's contagious, but so is volunteering. It is something that we can all greatly benefit from in terms of reaching out to others, letting them see that you're doing it, just letting them see. Sometimes we don't have to say a word, letting others see that volunteering is a capability, even by very busy people. As a matter of fact, most of the time, it's really busy people doing a lot of the volunteer work. Because they have developed that mentality and they have been able to create that level of productivity, all these things that I've gone over. It's usually those people. So for the people who are kind of stuck in their in just a regular, very regular routine, there's nothing wrong with that, but I think that we need to open ourselves up to potentially a little bit more. And even if you just start with a little bit, and just keep it consistent the way Allah loves our deeds done, I think that that is a really, really good way. So really good way to get started, a really good way to allow you to see your own potential. Okay. remember that that when you spend in the way of Allah, you are definitely going to be rewarded in this life and the hereafter. So when I said giving a monetary donation to some cause is an amazing thing, remember that it doesn't always have to be monetary. So this is for those who cannot afford to give monetary donations. This is a perfect outlet for you to offer your skill set, to offer your compassion, to offer your sense of responsibility to your community, and do something in the way of Allah, in the cause of Allah, so that you are still contributing and still gaining all the rewards of a sadaqah. That is sort of what I have come to know. And I will tell you, I'll share a little bit about my own personal experiences. So when I was, how many years ago was this? About 11 to 12 years ago, I was asked to take over a community sewing program for Muslim women and children. And I was very hesitant. I was like, how am I going to do this? You know, I had at that time only 3 little kids. I was homeschooling full time. I was running some other programs and other courses for the homeschooling community. And, you know, my kids were young, so I didn't have help or support, right? So I was on my own with my kids. Alhamdulillah, not to be complaining, but that was my situation. And what happened was something came over me and I decided to agree to do it. It's more or less like a part-time job. So, but it's community, it's volunteer. So I finally agreed to do my to take on this program, whereby I was working with the city of Mississauga on all levels. So the aquatic supervisor, I was working with bookings, I was working with accounting, and then the facility managers, because we have to set this program up and continue it, maintain it, suitable for our needs, right, and our cultural and religious sensitivities. On the other end, I'm dealing with all of the registrants, and then I'm dealing with all of the instructors. So these are my roles and responsibility: to coordinate and facilitate this program between all of our Muslim sisters and their children, and then between the city program and the city workers as well. So there was a lot of coordinating. There was accounting involved, banking involved, all kinds of different stuff. So I decided to take it on, alhamdulillah. I was very nervous and very scared, but because when I do something, for me, I like to do it really well. Otherwise, I just don't see a point. So alhamdulillah, I was blessed with that opportunity. It was a massive blessing. 12 years later, here I am, and not only, mashallah, have we been able to maintain this program and fight for it on a regular basis, whereby we have to continue to work with the city and developing schematics and structure so that it's safe, so that we have enough swim instructors, female only swim instructors, so that we have the right facility whereby we have the right coverings, also whereby we have the change rooms to ourselves, right, because it's a co-ed change room. So we've done all this, and mashallah, we have ever so evolved the program to the point where we now rent 2 pools at the same time in the same facility. We run an aquafit program. We've now got full adult level 1 to 5 and even 5 plus. So this program, mashallah, has evolved to a point where we have way more classes and we're able to accommodate way more participants, and especially mothers are not just signing their kids up, but we couldn't even get an adult class full and keep it full in the first year or 2. And now our 5 adult classes are completely sold out when it is running, of course, and our aquafit is also usually maxed out. So alhamdulillah, it has evolved. We go all the way from preschool classes all the way up to Bronze Star, and we have also ran lifeguarding, Bronze Cross, and Bronze Medallion programs. So in all of that, I still continue continued to homeschool my children. I was really blessed with another opportunity to go and become a personal trainer, which I did. Once I got certified, I planned to delay the opening of my business. And so, for whatever reason, I can't remember at the time, but I wasn't ready. But that got pushed, and I ended up starting my business right away. At the same time, I started my business and I started teaching phys ed, and I the program wasn't just where it was at. It had actually evolved immensely. So it just goes to show that that one project that I took on that was a pretty good load um, grew. And within that growing, my other areas of my life also grew. Okay. So it's something that I can't really, I just become really grateful when I think about it for any opportunity that I have because of the just the interactions that I get to have with people and their gratitude and how it makes you feel like, and when they're grateful to you for doing something, and it doesn't have to be big. People are simple. People just like simple things. And I can honestly say that it has allowed me to really feel something that nothing really nothing really gives you um, when you're just doing, and you're not doing it from your heart, and you're just thinking of getting a paycheck for it or whatever have you. That's all great. Make all the money you want. I don't discourage that at all. But in terms of volunteering, in terms of the interactions that you get to have with people, it to me has tremendous blessings, and really, really, really great feelings inside that carry on and flourish and bring you places in your life that you would probably never imagine. And might sound like I'm exaggerating, but I just told you my story, and that's basically how I got to where I am today. It all started with volunteer, all of it. So alhamdulillah, I still volunteer. I balance business with that and my family, and I think it's a wonderful thing that if you haven't done it already, then think about it and just start with something small and allow yourself to sort of grow into it as much as you can. And if you have to set limits, by all means, set limits. The last thing you want to do is resent, have any ill feelings towards what you're doing, because that can happen. That can happen. You can be stretched too thin and pulled too thin. Don't let people take advantage of you. Set your boundaries, know what your guidelines are, and from there, grow and do it with the right intentions. And I promise you, you will be rewarded tremendously in this life and the akhirah. So yeah, so that's basically what I had to say with regards to what I have gained and what I've felt, and also with my experiences. It's just been wonderful all along, and to see that my network has grown through volunteer, which has allowed me to flourish into other things. And I'm just grateful for those people that have come into my life and given me that opportunity. And it is an opportunity. Volunteer work should not be a task or a chore or feel like it is somewhat of a burden. And it is an amana, right? It's a responsibility. But at the same time, you have to look through it with the right lenses on and make sure that it's positive experience and that this is an opportunity to gain. It's not just losing your time. You are gaining tremendously, and stay optimistic about it, and amazing things will happen, inshallah. So that is what I'm going to conclude with. I believe we have a Q&A now.
Yes.
Okay,
Perfect. Thank you very much for your presentation, Carly. What a beautiful presentation that you had. You had covered some very important points in here, and I could relate to so many of them actually. And I've experienced them because I've done a lot of volunteer work in the community when I was in high school, now in university. And it truly is a great opportunity. It's not just sometimes about the experience or just fame or anything comes in. It's just the connections that you make, and I think it's very important that boost that we get. I do want to, before we start our question and answer session, I would like to let everyone know to please write your questions, comments that you have under our comment section on Facebook Live right now that we have. And also to make a quick announcement regarding our Winterfest that I mentioned earlier as well. So I'm just waiting for IT to put that on screen, inshallah, and we will just so everyone can have a look at the dates. I think the best way is for you to have the full information with all details regarding the Winterfest, the dates and timing and registration. You could go to attendbm.com. You could also see that under the poster here at attendbm.com. You will be able to see, because not all these programs are live on Facebook platform. We have it at different platforms as well, Instagram, WhatsApp. So you will be able to get the registration, direct registration through attendbm.com. We also, this fest will be from December 1st to January 1st. It's a one-day winter fest that we have. We are looking forward to having everyone join us, inshallah. Just keep in mind that you're also able to use the hashtag that was provided here under this live post right now. One of them being the Winter 2020 or Winter Fest. You can use this hashtags, share your 2020 gems with us, or any success stories that you have. Share those with us on our social media platforms. So thank you everyone for being with us thus far. Let's inshallah start our Q&A session. The Q&A session, I have received some questions from our audience that I will share with you. But I did wanted to mention about the importance of volunteer work that you covered already, most of them in your talk as well. The story that you had, you're sharing your honest story, was very beautiful, starting something small and evolving and developing into something that's bigger. And it did remind me of my own story with being me. It was very interesting. I met a friend actually it was more than a year ago. I met a friend over dinner in someone else's house. She was doing this program with Being Me, and she's like, I need someone to help me volunteer. I was like, you know what? It's winter break. I have some time. Let me do this. Alhamdulillah, I was able to do it, and it was supposed to be just a 1 week thing to do, and it was a 1 week thing. It was done, and then I got to go to one event, and one event it just like kind of led to another one, and this year it's only been me hosting programs for Being Me, and it's such a great experience. Alhamdulillah. Aside from the work that we do here, it's the connection that I've made with people here. I know it's a little different connection than the usual connection where you see people, where you talk to them in person. Yeah. But this one is online connection, but also very important because I got to meet some amazing people here, make those connections. And I think we built a community here, and I think I have been able to personally build a community here of my own with the people that I have met. And so the work of volunteering is very important to me. I would like to start off with asking you, you did mention something in here about the work of volunteering. Sometimes it could be a burden, but we also can't look at it as a sort of a chore. So I'm going to do it, sometime I'll get it done. I believe a commitment comes in just like any other work, just like your paid job or your household responsibilities. Your volunteer work also has a commitment. And I wanted to hear from you if you could share some tips on for those people who are either afraid of those commitment or aren't actually willing to, if they're not afraid or unwilling to put the commitment, an extra commitment into this work, and commitment could sometimes be the issue for them for not wanting to do any volunteer work. How do those people deal with overcoming this fear?
Yeah. So I think I had this fear when my kids were really little and when I was overwhelmed. I was volunteering, but I was only doing what I was capable of, but I also feared just not being able to commit, and a lot of the negativity would build up, and some of it was totally legitimate, and then other times it was not. And so what I would say is that first of all, it's about your mindset. So the things that I spoke about in this talk with regards to how you are looking at an opportunity, how you're looking at volunteering should not be a task. It should be looked at as an opportunity, one, to seek reward from Allah, and two, to understand that this opportunity will bring other opportunities, which will bring other opportunities. And you know what I'm saying? It goes on and on and on and on. And with the opportunities, it also gives you such huge, huge feelings of happiness. It sounds corny, but it does, though. It really does. It makes you feel so good inside. It makes you feel so grateful and thankful that you did it. So there's a lot of memes going around where, somebody would say, oh, I felt horrible after that workout. I wish I never worked out. Same with volunteering. I would like for anybody to, to say, who's worked with a good organization, of course, or even if it's just grassroots, totally on your own. Oh, I wish I never did that volunteer opportunity. I wish I never volunteered for that cause. I don't think you really would say that. So it's something that you have to do, and you have to have the right mindset going into it. And the other thing is, when it comes to starting volunteering, or if you already are, create realistic goals for yourself. So if you are not able to commit to something huge, don't. Start with something that is within your realm. Start with something that you know you're capable of doing and that you are going to not feel overwhelmed with first. So set a realistic goal. Make sure that it is time sensitive to what you're capable of doing. Make sure that it is within your means and your skill set and your talents, and most of all, what you love. So when you're setting, if you want to, 2021 is coming. It's here in a few hours, right? So if now is a time for you to set some goals, and they don't have to be about making money, they don't have to be about certain things. They can also be about relationships, and they can also be about being a more contributing member of our community. If you're going to set goals for volunteering, just start with simple things that you're capable of doing with the right mentality and build on that. It will grow, and you will be amazed, and you will surprise yourself with the amount of productivity that you are able to carry out, inshallah. And I'm not saying it happens overnight. It doesn't necessarily even grow overnight. It may grow simply over, you know, uh, a few months or a few years. But it's okay. As long as you're doing it, that's all good. Alhamdulillah. Like, don't stress. Don't stress yourself that, oh, if I do this, it's not going to be enough. Don't ever say that. This is shaitan. This is shaitan trying to keep you away from doing something good. So just, like I said, keep the right mindset and set realistic goals.
Absolutely. One of the very interesting was something that you're passionate about and you love, and I think I've experienced this as well. I also do other volunteer works aside from being me with other organizations, and one thing that I have realized that doing things that you're passionate about will also make that commitment that you have towards certain tasks will also make it so much easier for you, that you have that commitment you're passionate about, you're passionate, and it just makes it so much easier. You just go there with a love to do that job that
100%. 100%.
yeah.
Yes.
Hajra Bilali asked a few questions. Well, first of all, thank you, Hajra, for your beautiful, encouraging comments that she wrote here on our Facebook post. She also is interested to know what kind of business that you have, that you mentioned your personal story about your business. And also she asked what helped you the most in building your character that did help you for your business.
Okay, so first question, what type of business do I have? So my business is called In-Home Holistics. And I am a certified personal trainer and registered nutritionist. So my whole goal was to reach out and be able to connect and motivate other sisters, mothers, daughters, aunties, whatever, and try to create outlets for them to reach a healthier lifestyle, because it's very tough. What motivated me is I was stuck in my own rut after 4 kids. I developed some health problems. I was always into fitness, always active, right up until I was about to deliver my third. And then I developed some health issues, and I again had another baby and breastfed again. So I was pregnant, breastfeeding for like 10 years back to back, and my body got drained, and I suffered from some anemia and hypothyroidism. Anyhow, I when I felt that, when I experienced that, that's when I really knew that I needed to take my passion and my strengths and manifest it into something that could reach out and touch other people. So I started with in-home personal training because a lot of women have fears of going to gyms. I go to them. I know a lot of young mothers can't get out of their home. So I am an in-home personal trainer and a registered nutritionist. So I help try to create um, means of improving people's lifestyles for them and for their families. And that has expanded into Runners Club, boot camps, different group fitness classes, and now both. I'm also online now as well. So I have expanded online, which is great. And alhamdulillah, that is something that I was always hesitant to do, but COVID hit and I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Alhamdulillah, it ended up flourishing to some other opportunities online. So yeah, that is what I do. That's the business that I'm doing currently. What was the second part of that question about character?
Yeah, the second part of question, I believe she's asking what helped you the most at building your character, and that also helped you in building your business. I believe that's what she's asking.
Okay, so the character that I have developed, and I'm still developing, is probably I just want to say resilience. I don't even know if that's a character trait, but I guess it is kind of all the struggles that I went through, like in my childhood before I was Muslim, in my years of being Muslim. I can honestly say that that has allowed me to dig deep and find the strength within me. I've always been a fighter. I've always been somebody who's very persistent. And when I want something, I really want to make it happen. Faith and trust in Allah, knowing that I could do this, believing in myself, and knowing that why wouldn't Allah want this for me, right? Having hope in Allah. So a lot of it had to do with my relationship with Allah, which affected me and reflected my character and how I grew. So that was big, like envisioning myself as a personal trainer, like going back to school. I had kids and homeschooling and blah, 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 I was running a swimming program, taking a course. And then, a lot of times I could have told myself I can't do this, but I just started to picture myself I knew that I could do it. I knew that it's a trait that I have. I love working with people and making them feel better and showing people their potential. That is something that I am so passionate about, just as much as I am about being healthy. I am so passionate about getting people to understand how much potential they actually have and getting through their own mental blocks, so that they are able to pursue. So this is a trait that I have that has really helped me be a trainer, but a trainer who's really passionate about their clients, cares a lot about their clients and about these women, somebody who I see as a sister, right? Beyond a business relationship. It just, for me, it's that sense of caring and compassion and being where I was when I was down in the dumps. People can't just assume that people in the fitness industry have been fit their whole lives. I can honestly say that I went through I was stuck in a rut for quite a while. Alhamdulillah, I was able to get out of it, but there were times where I didn't know because I couldn't lift myself out of bed some mornings just because I was so drained. So resilience, being passionate about what you do, really having a sincere, genuine sense of caring for my clients. That's the kind of person I am. I'm a sensitive person. All of these things, being able to hope and trust in Allah and envisioning myself doing it, not letting the negative thoughts come into my mind, and developing that resilience towards them really helped me develop and flourish into the business that I have today. It's nothing massive, but it's something that I care about a lot, and it's alhamdulillah, it's been maintaining itself.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that, Carly. Also, from the talk that we've had here so far, I believe one thing that I've learned about you is that you're a very productive person. You love productivity. Like from the story, you shared your story from the beginning. I'm like, you've been doing a lot of things. Alhamdulillah, you have 4 kids and you have a business. You do all these work, and so you definitely are a very productive individual. And in your talk, you also mentioned that sometimes whether it's volunteer work or any other kind of work that we do, we have to build a productive mind. If we have that productive mindset, then it makes things a lot easier for us to get done. I wanted to ask you what helped you to build that productive mindset, or what are some tips that you have that would help other people to build a productive mindset where it make them their life easier, I would say.
So the first thing that came to my mind when you asked that question is the discipline. Since I was young, I just sort of had it. I had an innate type of way of being towards getting things done and helping people. I can remember going to my grandmother's when I was very young and just being like, okay, I would clean, I would dust everything in her house, and then I'd come to her and I'd be like, okay, now what can I do? And then she'd say, oh, Carly, you don't have to do anything else, because I would be like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years old when I would do this. So I would clean her whole house for her. Um, um, and it was when I set my mind to doing something, I really wanted to do it, and I wanted to do it well, and I would commit to it. Um, that was sort of how I was. And then as I got older, so the big discipline thing for me came in where I became a competitive swimmer. So I have a competitive swimming background, hence why I was really drawn towards running the swimming program and evolving it. So I was a competitive swimmer for 6 years, and it became extremely demanding and rigid in terms of the schedule, which was fine. I was fine with it until I just didn't do it anymore. I enjoyed it, and it set me up for a great amount of discipline because my commitment to swimming grew quite some, whereby I was in the pool between 4 and 6 days a week. I was also dryland training, um, probably at least 2 or 3 days a week, in addition to training in the water 4 to 6 days a week. So it became very heavy. Um, and I have been able to carry that discipline that I had when I was committed to swimming um, right up until now when it comes to my own fitness and stuff like that. So, for example, like we would easily do an hour and a half, 2 hour session. We would swim at least 200 laps in that hour and a half. Sometimes we would go from the pool to dryland or dryland into the pool. When we do dryland training, sometimes we'd have to run between 5 and 10 kilometers just to warm up. And then we would get to a gym, and then we would set up and we would do, it wouldn't be more warm up, but we would do a bunch of different exercises like a workout. And then after that, we do we would do stations. And then after that, we have to run back to the pool where our parents were going to pick us up. So it was really like the coach of the swim team that I belong to. He's also the doctor of the Canadian national swim team. He's a doctor, and mashallah, very, very somebody who has high standards of commitment. And if you didn't want to commit, then you just didn't commit, but you wouldn't go anywhere. You wouldn't move into any next level. So that really profoundly taught me a lot about self-discipline, and it's you who controls where you want to go. It's you who controls, he left it to you, but he set the standards high at the same time. So that was basically a huge stepping stone for me in my youth. Between the ages of 8 and 14, I swam. And it till this day has a crazy impact on me. And the whole disciplines till today, I'm quite disciplined. I'm very, can be almost too hard on myself sometimes, so I'm trying to pull back. But you know, holding yourself to a high standard, there's nothing wrong with that. It just shows that you value yourself. And you know, there's nothing, um, as long as you're doing it in a healthful way, you should do it. And you should create opportunities for yourself. You should create avenues for you to travel down and for you to grow as a person, because it's only you who's holding you back sometimes. So finding that discipline to say, you know what, I need to do this, and this is what I have to do to get there, and committing to it. It might be scary, but at the same time, you should be realizing that this is something that is going to hold yourself to a higher value. You are going to grow and get better from this. So mindset comes back to mindset again, how you look at things.
Absolutely. Yes.
Mhm.
Thank you for answering that, Carly. Um, and we spoke here about intentions, the importance
Yeah.
of intentions, regardless what kind of job we do, whether it be volunteering or not. The intentions are very important. And sometimes we do have the intentions, we might have just the intention of doing a volunteer work for the sadaqah that we receive, the reward for the afterlife. But when we start out, if we get into the job or we do the volunteer work, there are also other aspects into volunteer work, the other benefits, like the experience benefit for those
Yeah.
students that are students. They need the hours, because that's also one of the requirements for high schools here, is to have certain volunteer hours. That also kind of reflects into the importance of volunteer work. So
Right.
having, if you start a volunteer work with the intention of only receiving the sadaqah from afterwards, and then the other aspects comes on later on, like hours or the experience. Should there be any feelings in here where you shouldn't be feel hesitant into receiving those hours or anything, or there shouldn't be any hesitant feelings? There should be a feeling that it's okay if we just receive benefits, both benefits, right? Whether it be just the sadaqah or the hours or the experience.
Right, right. So it's okay sometimes to, if an opportunity comes your way, to take a deep breath first and to think, okay, is this something that I can do? And sometimes you just need to think and reflect on it a little bit, and not have to think that you have to give a yes or no right away. Because I'll tell you right now, I learned that when I did this, sometimes I said no too soon. And then I realized and thought about it later that I turned down an opportunity that I could have done. When I thought about it a day, it took me 24, 48 hours. I realized, oh my gosh, I could have done that, and this could have led to this, or I could have benefited in other ways, or even if it was just purely for Allah's sake and I just got that benefit, that is enough. But at the same time, um, I've said no to things too soon. So I remember saying to people, you know what, I'm not going to answer you yet. Give me a little bit of time to sit on it and think about it, and that helped me tremendously to curve in the direction of doing it.
Mhm.
And it can also do the opposite, right? You can overcommit. So sometimes you really need to think: is this within your realm? Are you still going to be able to be, um, fulfill your responsibilities in all the other areas? And if it is too much, then, maybe you need to sit back and say, okay, this is too much. Can we maybe negotiate in the middle somewhere where, I can't commit to this fully, but I would love to do this. You know what I mean? Instead, and build on that. And um, that's where a little bit of hesitation is okay, as long as it's not a complete negative hesitation. As long as it's a deep breath, let me think on it, kind
Yeah.
of thing, and then you really think about it. Because sometimes we don't have our calendars. We have a Google Calendar for a reason. You know what I mean? We've got so many things plugged in there that we cannot even remember. That's why we have the calendar. So you kind of have to go back and you have to look at your calendar. You have to think, oh, I've got this family commitment, my whatever. I need to see my mother sometime this month, right? So is this going to work?
Yeah.
So I take that, but don't rule out as a negative hesitation. Just think on it, and sometimes, and most times, it's benefited me to just do that and figure out what it is that I could do and what I couldn't do.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you very much for your time, Carly. Thank you so much for taking the time to come here today, present on such an important topic for everyone. And thank you to our audience for staying thus far with us in this conference, in this program. Inshallah, I'm gonna before we close off our program, I'm gonna remind our audience one more time about our Winter Fest. Our Winter Fest is happening from December 31st, which is today. It started in the morning until January 1st. Times and dates and also registration links are all provided for you at 10bm.com. You can also see the poster here on your screens right now. The 10bm.com address is down there. Please go make sure that you register for the programs and attend these programs. Inshallah, you will benefit from all these programs that are provided. Thank you to everyone that are our volunteers that came here today and spent the time and their time here for us to work. So thank you to all. If you are interested to volunteer, there are great organizations out there that you can volunteer your time and benefit from it, like Being Me. And if you are interested to know more details about what we do here and how you could also participate, we can find that you can find that on our social media pages and at 10bm.com. Thank you all for your time today. Inshallah, we'll close off today's program with a recitation from Asma. Asma will close up our program for today. Thank you, everyone.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا.
Thank you very much, Asma. Thank you, everyone. سبحانك اللهم الحمد لله وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you. Take care.